Welcome to Nerd Stock Talk. This is episode 12, and we always, as we say, like and follow. If you're watching this live on our YouTube or Facebook streams, make sure you hit the follow button so you'll always get announced, or what's the word I'm looking for? You'll get
warned
that we're coming on soon. So this
if you are watching it live, it's because it's 7 p.m. on Sunday, like it's always been.
It's always been 7 p.m. on Sunday. We've never changed it. Always 7 p.m. We've always hit every Sunday too. We've never missed a beat. So never missed it. So what we're going to talk about tonight, we're going to talk about crypto. This seems to be cryptocurrencies. This is going to be, and we're going to talk to JP. JP is our out of the two of us, he's our resident crypto expert, and he's going to kind of give us a bit of background.
Expert's a little bit of a strong word, but
here in the room, you're the expert. So yeah,
okay,
we'll put it like that. And what we'll do is we'll talk about that a little bit and talk about what we're going to be doing with crypto, and you can take that as advice, or you can just take that as just pure entertainment. That's up to you. But remember, we do not provide advice. You saw the intro, no advice here. So
none at all.
None at all. So before we jump into it, let's just go into our last week's picks. All right, last week's picks. So this is the last, I checked the calendar. This is the last episode where we're going to be checking our long picks 1 month out. Next week is going to be 3 months out. So it's going to give us a better window of how our long picks are doing. So be prepared for that. It's been about 3 months since we picked. I know, it's time flies. See?
Wow. So, yeah. I can't believe this show has not been canceled yet.
You know what this is? This is basically cable access, public cable access on the internet. This is the best thing. Anybody, if you have a camera,
except not as good.
And not as good. That's true. So what we're going to do, we're going to jump into it, and it looks like we're looking at the last month, and I got to say, because of the Canoo stocks, you're once again, I think JP, you were at the long, and look, I have it streaming. I have it at ticker style because we're talking about stocks. So
whoa, wow, feels like Wall Street.
See, look at that. Isn't that pretty cool?
This is depressing. Yeah, this is depressing.
So talk about our long picks here. You had Canoo. It is down minus 45% in the past month. So what's going on with Canoo?
What's going on with Canoo? Canoo is one of the most heavily shorted stocks in the stock market right now, along with every other electric vehicle stock. I think hedge funds have moved off of GameStop and AMC, and the short interest on those have sort of dwindled down, and the short interest on these electric vehicle stocks has gone way through the roof. I think the last time I checked, Canoo was like 80%, which is like GameStop territory. So I'm not worried about it. Canoo doesn't have a product yet. They're not scheduled to even start selling products for another year and a half. The price is going to do this. I still think this is the bottom, even at $14, $8. It could go down to $5. I'm still going to hold until at least the product launches. That's why I call it a long-term hold.
Right. Good point. And talk about your two ones you're looking at last week. Sundial was supposedly going to be one that was going to blow up, but it seems to have. Did you miss the blow up?
I don't know what is going on with Sundial. Sundial is one of those meme stocks that I thought I still think next week might be big because it's April 20th. And I'm kind of just banking on the Reddit pump that on April 20th, everyone's going to be buying cannabis stocks. We're going to see how that goes. It's a complete speculative play. In terms of company, Sundial, I think, is a great company. They have a lot of cash on hand. They could be pulling some acquisitions. However, they have filed some paperwork with the SEC to sell more shares once the price hits $1.80. So I don't see Sundial getting much above $1.80 anytime soon because of that dilution. But it's definitely a good pump and dump candidate for sure at the price level we're seeing.
It's like 88 cents a share right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's $1. I think it's a solid $1.50 stock.
Right. Yeah. So you could basically double your money if you bought 10 shares, that's costing you $8. Right now.
Right. And as cannabis gets legalized across the country, that stock is only going to go up. They're already positioned for nationwide distribution. They're one of the largest cannabis companies in Canada right now. So they've got the infrastructure there, and they've got everything they need to do to just make it go. So
right. So we would try in like 2 years from now or 3 years from now, where would you see Sundial going? Like, for instance, you said $1.50, but how far up do you think it would go?
I think it's a $10, $7.50 to $10 range is my target on that.
Really?
On a three-year timeline.
Yeah. Wow. Okay. Cool. All right. We'll talk about what I had on here. My long-term pick, still Tencent. It was for the past month. It's crept up. I think there were some issues going on with like, Chinese businesses and stuff that happened last month. It's kind of crept back up. It's now back to, I think the lowest it went was 60 something a share. Now it's back up to 80. The highest it went was, it was knocking on 100. So it's creeping back up again. So I'd be curious to especially look at where we're at for our 3 months term when we start seeing that next week.
I think Genius is kind of a victim of the same EV stock shorting that's going on. I think they're lumped into that tech stock.
Yes. So
movement.
And we saw, and I mean, and Genius Brands didn't do too well either. So I would thought that there was, it's a good, and as I was talking about last week, it's a cheap stock. If anybody's interested in buying, getting stock that's entertainment oriented, that's about IPs and, not your big, A-listers, but, who knows? I'm ambivalent to it. So I thought it was going to do some more last week because I think we saw this, all these COVID era stocks from last year that were going up, entertainment, mobile entertainment, all these things that people have been purchasing are now kind of leveled out and kind of been going down. Where last week they said that the Dow and the NASDAQ had an all-time high last week.
Yeah. But
I didn't see it because all my stocks are all these like mobile entertainment and entertainment stocks. So it's like,
yeah. It's, I think as people are going back to work, the retail investors, they have a particular flavor for things they like to invest in, and now they're not paying as much attention to it. So I think there's some of that causing a little bit of the pullback. People are putting their investments into safer things, things you don't have to watch so closely. As states come out of quarantine and folks get back to work.
Yeah. So Daily Dan just said, I don't even know what crypto is, but he did say cannabis. And now I know what that is real well. Okay. All right. Thanks, Dan. And so it's like $20 a gram. So there you go. And so good. So as I say, I think we're kind of seeing we're starting to see, I think, kind of a transition to post-COVID future oriented stocks. I think we're probably going to see these retail stocks and like vacation type stocks are probably going to start going back up again. Like your Carnival Cruise, your Six Flags,
your airlines,
airplanes, your airlines are probably going to be going back now up. So they're kind of hard to, I mean, some of those shares are, $20-$30. Some of them are up to $70-$80. So those are kind of harder to get a hold of, but it's talk to your financial advisor about it. For those that are, like I said, always talk to your financial advisor about these kind of things. They might be, and let them know, say, hey, listen,
I was watching this show with a couple of apes
a couple of these crayon eating man apes who are saying that it looks like, the retail level of vacation type stocks are going to be going back up again. Is this true? And he could say, never get your information from the internet. Talk to me. He or she could say that, or they could say, yeah, then those guys are probably the most smartest people in the world. I don't think so. All right. So we'll just jump right into our topic of the night. All right. So tonight's topic. JP, should I invest in crypto? All right. So
I think you should talk to your financial advisor.
That's true. Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna, JP, do you invest in crypto, and why?
I most certainly do invest in crypto, and actually, crypto is sort of the thing that sparked my journey into the stock market. I look at read charts on trading crypto. Back in the day, I'll say the day was 2011, 2012. Crypto was very, very inexpensive. I got my first Bitcoins, actually mining Bitcoins, just as soon as I had heard of it, which was very early on. You could actually use a laptop to mine Bitcoins, and you could get a handful of them doing it.
So before we go any further, what does mining Bitcoins mean?
Well, okay, so let's back up. What is cryptocurrency for one?
Right. Yeah.
Cryptocurrency it's a cryptographic algorithm that says this is money, and it's unhackable because it would take quantum computers to do this. And the other reason it's unhackable is because everybody on the network, everyone that has a Bitcoin wallet or a Bitcoin node, which is a miner, every single one of those has a copy of the same file.
Okay.
So in order for you to hack it, you would have to hack that entire file on all the computers that are on the network, which is impossible to do.
Okay.
Everyone has to agree that this is the file we're using, or that node can't connect to the network if it's not running the same file. That file is called the blockchain.
Okay.
So you can go online and you can download the original Bitcoin node. It was called Bitcoin QT. You can download that and you can upload it onto your computer and you can start mining Bitcoins. And what mining actually is processing Bitcoin transactions.
Right.
So this is a little different than a credit card. A credit card has a number. You transmit the number to your credit card company, and then they debit your account and they send you a bill and they charge you interest. With Bitcoin, you have a wallet, which is similar to a credit card. That wallet has a number, which is called an address. And that address on the blockchain is stored on the blockchain, and it has a balance. And everybody on the network knows what the balance of your wallet address is. It's public knowledge. You could type your wallet address into any what's called the blockchain viewer and pull up and see what the balance is. That's how they know the inventor of Bitcoin, who is this mysterious man who dropped a white paper in a forum about cryptocurrencies. Cryptocurrency has been a kind of a thing that's had been trying to be developed for years, but nobody was able to be successful at it. And then one day, this guy by the username Satoshi Nakamoto, dropped into a forum and said, "Hey, here's this white paper. Here it is. Here's the file. Check it out. Try it." And that was Bitcoin. That was literally how Bitcoin was born. The identity of Satoshi Nakamoto is still a secret. Nobody knows who he is. But his wallet, the very first wallet, the Genesis Bitcoin, has worth something like $100 billion. He's one of if he's not the richest person in the world now, he certainly will be soon. The trend line continues.
Right.
So in a nutshell, that's how Bitcoin works. A miner is a computer that's processing transactions.
Okay.
All processing transactions for the same network. So what happens is I have a wallet with an address and you have a wallet with an address. Let's say I'm Satoshi Nakamoto. I've got the very first wallet, and then I give it to you, my friend, who I believe was went by the name of Craig Wright or Roger Ver, some of those names you might see in crypto news, who are now very wealthy gentlemen. So you opened up a wallet. I sent you a transaction of the very first Bitcoin, the Genesis block. That transaction created an address for an entirely new, for that Bitcoin created an entirely new address.
Completely unique to the person who just bought the Bitcoin.
To both of us. So that Bitcoin that I exchanged between me to you, that Bitcoin has an address that's like hexadecimal, 8 characters. Your wallet has 8 characters. My wallet has 8 characters. Once that transaction is complete, that Bitcoin that's now in your wallet has an address that is, 32 characters and comprised of a little bit of my wallet address, a little bit of your wallet address, and whatever that Bitcoin number was.
Right.
Next time that's spent, the same thing happens. And Bitcoins are fractional. They can be divided up into millions of pieces. Satoshis, they call them. So you can spend a piece of that Bitcoin, a bit of it, and the same thing will happen, and it'll go into the next block. Now the block can only hold so many transactions. Once that block gets full, the block is complete. It's been mined, and then it goes on to the blockchain and goes into the file, and it's done. And this whole time, the computers, the nodes, are solving mathematical problems, and it takes an incredible amount of computing power to process these transactions because it's cryptographic. It's an enormous amount of power. Right. So once that's complete, you make a block, you mine a block, you put it on the blockchain. There's a reward for that. The very first reward for the first block was 50 Bitcoins. Wow. So it was, I'm not going to say it was lucrative because Bitcoins were worthless when it was first deployed.
And now one Bitcoin is $60,000.
$57,000. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Wow.
When I first started mining Bitcoins, they were less than a nickel. They were in the 1 and 2 cent range. Wow. And it got to the point where you couldn't mine it with a home computer anymore effectively. It was not, I'd only get like a quarter of a Bitcoin for leaving my computer running all night, which was really not, there was no incentive in it. Right. So I kind of let that go and moved on to other things. But at the time, Bitcoin was the only cryptocurrency very early on. Soon after, other cryptocurrencies came on, Litecoin and Ethereum, that had similar properties based on the same technology. They just were able to do different things.
Right.
And then shortly after that, there was all these others. Dogecoin is another popular one. A lot of people have asked me about Dogecoin and what I thought of it. And Dogecoin is literally, quite literally, in every sense of the word, a joke.
A meme coin. Right?
It's set up, it's programmed so that when the price goes up, more coins get minted and the supply is unlimited. So it's designed so that as it becomes more popular, more coins get minted and the price goes down, so it never becomes valuable. The fact that it had reached 30 cents is just, it's mind-boggling to me that that was able to occur, because it should be impossible. Just by the way it's programmed, it should not be possible for it to go up. So if you have Dogecoin and you're at a peak, it's reached an all-time high, do not hesitate to sell, because it will come back down. It has to. It has to. More coins are going to get minted, and it's going to drop back down. And depending on how much it gets used, it could easily fall back down to 1/1000th of a cent.
But would it be like when if you buy shares and if they split the shares, like say for instance you have 10 Dogecoins, but then it goes up and they sell again, all of a sudden you have 50 Dogecoins. Like is that how it would work though too? So you would still get something.
So the block reward goes up as the price goes up.
Right.
Which is the opposite of how cryptocurrencies work. With Bitcoin and most other cryptocurrencies, the first block that was mined was 50 Bitcoins. As time goes on, there's what's called the halvening, which does two things. It makes mining blocks twice as difficult, so they take twice as much computer power. And that is just a function of the fact that the addresses become so long that it's harder and harder for the computers to process those transactions. So that's why these Bitcoin miners are constantly buying video cards, because video cards, that architecture, that chip architecture, does an exceptional job at mining crypto, which is why there's a shortage of chips and video cards, also going all the way down into automobiles and such. A lot of it has gone to cryptocurrency mining. In all sorts of chains, not just Bitcoin. Right. But as that difficulty increases, the block reward gets cut in half as well. So right now, it started with 50. Right now, it's about 8 Bitcoins for mining a block. And in order to mine a complete block, you need a warehouse full of computers, full of Bitcoin miners to process those transactions. Okay. So the thing with Bitcoin is that its value is in its scarcity. There's only ever going to be 21 million Bitcoins mined. That's all that there can ever be. So as we reach that point where most of the Bitcoins have been mined, now you're going to be competing for those Bitcoins. The opposite of Dogecoin, whereas every time the price goes up, the block reward gets increased. So there's more Dogecoin on the market.
So I would say, so the piece of it, so people who are listening saying cryptocurrency, this is weird, I don't know anything about it. There's a really good TED Talk I listened to the other day talking about lies we believe. And he said, do you know what the biggest lie, this isn't political, but the biggest lie, I gotta say that right in front, the biggest lie that we all believe and we accept, it's that a piece of paper is worth something. Like that was, it's culturally acceptable to say $1 is worth $1, and you can take it and return. So currency itself, because we used to go by a gold standard. Yeah. So I see this as that transitionary time when we're going, fully electric, like in the electronic world.
Absolutely.
This is basically the same different, where if you talk to your great grandparents or your grandparents, it's like gold. It's always been gold. Like, like they will not trust, they always say they won't trust dollars. They won't trust banks because they want to see their money. So there's that point where we went from a gold standard to then all of a sudden saying, all right, this is how much things cost, based off of the US dollar being that main point of value. Now we're going to the point of where cryptocurrency is now, universally starting to get more universally accepted.
When you think about the amount of credit card fraud and your card number gets stolen, I mean, how much businesses lose through the course of a year, through the course of a day, not only businesses, but also ordinary people, through having their credit card get stolen. Cryptocurrency really starts to make a lot of sense because it's not hackable. Someone literally has to know your numbers, right, to get to your money.
Right. And plus it's like so cryptocurrency isn't going anywhere. This is not a fad. It's so this is something. And also too, we basically live electronically already with, like you said, credit cards. There's rarely do you find people now, unless you go to like a, like a local shop or someplace, not a lot of people will just only take cash. So it's, everything right now is either like, now we have credit cards on our phone. We can pay through Apple. So we have we are heading in that direction of the inevitability that cryptocurrency is going to be the main source of,
Yeah, absolutely. And all of those apps that, whether you're using PayPal or you're using Apple Pay or anything, those are all tied back to a credit card company who is transmitting information about your credit card unencrypted. Maybe it's encrypted, but it's easier to hack than cryptocurrency. And at any
through
point
ones and zeros. Yeah, through ones and zeros. It's all
any point of those transactions, your card number can be stolen, and someone can have a heyday with all of your money.
Right.
Cryptocurrency isn't like that unless someone gets the password to your wallet. That's
So-
the way it's stolen.
Okay, we're running out of time, so I want to, but we can probably talk about this again if some viewerships are interested in talking about this some more. But where can I get cryptocurrency now? How can I buy cryptocurrency?
For beginning, I would say Coinbase is probably the easiest place to start. It's the safest. It's also the most expensive, and their customer service is terrible. And the thing with cryptocurrency is it's a lot like the app Robinhood, where you don't actually own, with Coinbase, you don't actually own the cryptocurrency. So unless you have a wallet on your phone that's offline and you have the keys to those Bitcoins, you don't actually own the Bitcoin. So it's on an exchange. However, if you're just dabbling and you want to try playing the market, in terms of investments, Bitcoin or cryptocurrencies are experiencing exponential growth right now. I think the target price, who knows where Bitcoin is going to land, or where in the financial system where it'll find itself. But if Bitcoin supplants cash as a currency and reaches the same market cap, one Bitcoin will be worth over $1 million. So
that's amazing.
That's where we're headed. So you could throw $100 down on Bitcoin right now and easily turn it into $100,000.
So I don't need to find $60,000 to buy one Bitcoin. Like you said, you can buy them in fractions. I can put in $10.
As little as you want. Right.
Okay. Wow.
You're essentially it's a lot closer to exchanging your US dollars for Canadian dollars than it is to stocks. Because it is a currency, it's a money market. So you are exchanging your bills one for another.
Right. All right. So let me get to our final segment then. There you go. All right, so our final segment is what are we looking at for next week? So we'll just punt this on here. So next week, I'm watching Viacom CBS. This was one of the ones I talked about last. It went up really high as soon as Paramount Plus came out. It went up to it was knocking on $90. It was a little over $90 at one point. And then it came crashing down. It's probably, as you said, it was the entertainment aspect, the shorted stocks, the issues that we were seeing. It fell down. It's now at $39. So there is nowhere to go but up on this right now.
Yeah.
There's so so I was able to.
Are you watching it because you're pigeonholed into it and you really can't get out? Or
no, I sold it.
You
I
did?
sold it when it was up at 90. I sold it up when it was up at 90, and I'm like, wow, this is awesome. And you're like, hey, what's going on? Like you told me, it's like I already sold it when it hit the thing, but then it went back down. I'm like, all right, now it's down here. I'm going to take the money I made from it to buy into it again. So
lose more. So you are pigeonholed into it.
I like, that's the thing. As things go, I like it. I like it. So talk to us about American Battery Metals Corp. This is a new one. You haven't talked about this one.
Battery Metals Corp. I haven't figured out which platform I can buy it on yet. It's kind of a penny stock, but it's they're testifying in front of Congress and have been just really involved with this infrastructure bill in one way or another. And I've seen their name come up in many different places. And they're a mining company. They're into rare earth metals. I know President Biden is really interested in becoming independent on mining rare earth metals for batteries and such. Right now, the entire market is relying upon China.
Right.
So the companies that in America that do it are few and far between, and they're rather small. They're not big enough to supply the entire U.S. market. So any company in the United States that's into the lithium business, into the mining rare earth metals, or making batteries, I think is going to do really well over the next 5 years or so if this infrastructure bill passes, and it looks like it's going to.
Right. Wow, that's good. So, and you say this is on penny. This is like what, $1 or so each now, or?
Yeah, $1.50 or something. $1.80, I think, was the price I saw.
And I couldn't find it on Robinhood or.
It's
Webull.
not on Robinhood. It's on Webull, and I believe it's on Fidelity and Vanguard.
Okay.
So
cool. Well, so we'll figure out what's going on next week then. So
maybe we'll talk about how to invest in cryptocurrencies and how to play them and what to watch for.
Yeah. And I just saw Daily Dan is impressed with your beard. He just said, "I wish I could grow a sweet beard like that when I grow out of this. I look like Uncle Jesse from Dukes of Hazzard." Yeah. So yeah, nice beard, by the way. Yeah, JP.
Thanks. Appreciate it.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you very much, everybody. This has been another episode of Nerd Stock Talk.
And when you're clean shaven, because really that's more work.
That's true. Yeah. Yeah. No, but to maintain a good beard is hard. Yeah.
Yes. I don't really do much but wake up with it.
You don't put anything like any oils or anything like that? Any beard oil or anything?
No, just like my breakfast will drip into it sometimes, and maybe some bacon grease.
Yeah. Get it right down there. Cool. All right. Well, thank you very much, everybody. And this has been another episode of Nerd Stock Talk.
Invigorating.
Invigorating, yeah.